Shall we bring this to order? We ready to roll?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get underway, this is my last meeting as president, so I'm going to say something to you. One, it's an honor and a privilege to sit here. I want to say thank you to all of you. I've asked a lot of you, and most people don't know what you went through here. I think the first 6 months I've asked you to meet every single week, and we did. After that, we slacked off a little bit. So I couldn't be more pleased to work with this group of people. And I just want to list some of the things that we accomplished, and then I will be done. We started off, we rearranged the way we do these meetings. For one, the way we look at our finances. We focus more on finance right off the bat. So we're basically applying generally accepted accounting principles, looking for transparency here. We keep track of the money, and anybody can see where it comes from and where it goes. We created a personal fee. We amended the parking ordinance. We reduced check writing privileges from 4 to 2, simplified the operation. We consolidated bank accounts. I believe we may have gone from 9. And I'm not sure how many. We closed so many that I can't keep track of them all. We're down to approximately 2, where we should be, where we will be shortly. We appointed a management team, probably the first management team in the history of this borough, as far as I know. We implemented legal BCIMA board appointments. As Mike said, he was always denied the opportunity to run. He's legally allowed. We made that happen. We enacted online banking. We eliminated all credit cards but one. We're not there yet, but a lot of stuff isn't complete. We completed an incredible insurance review, and there were many facets to that, which I'm not going to go through. We passed a resolution for the sale of all items less than $1,000. We're in the process of reducing council to 5. We paved Spruce Street. We appointed code enforcement officials. We corrected a faulty fireman's workers' comp billing system. We reviewed fire hydrant rentals. We ended the money-losing flood project. We identified issues with ordinance, resolutions, and minutes books that we haven't completed yet, but at least we've identified the problem. We had the salt wars. We amended the salt contracts. We provided support for the homeowners rehabilitation program. We did a comprehensive streetlight analysis, and that'll be wrapped up soon. And we got out of a bogus fire protection contract when we determined that the borough owns this building, and we adopted bylaws. And those are the things I can remember. So I'm going to say thank you all. I couldn't have expected more. This is a third of this would be considered an ambitious agenda. So it was my pleasure to work with all of you. Thank you, and I hope you all treat the next president.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Paul, I just want to say that I felt we've come a long way. We were lucky to have you, in my opinion.
Thank you, Kevin.
And I think you did a great job. I think you got us going in a new direction. Whoever does take over, I hope they can even do half the job that you can.
I think you all can. I really find this. We're going to have
the problem is, it's going to take somebody who's going to have time to do it. You know, I'm in the process of hopefully going to be starting a new job where I'm going to be on the road again. So I don't know if I have the time or the knowledge to do it.
You have the knowledge. I think you can. Time constraints are a concern.
That would be my biggest thing. I mean, I look at, Joe has a lot of time, Kelvin has a lot of time. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of time, but they're in the area quite a bit.
Yes.
You know,
And
the
you guys will
Reverend.
have to decide, you're gonna have to work that out, who the next president will be. But I think most of you are very capable and can do this job. I think we have a good core here, and we're gonna continue to work together for a while, I hope.
Mr. President, I just don't understand the dynamics of when is the transition. You're saying
Well,
that this is the
my
end.
last meeting.
Okay.
That means is we did the bylaws, so we have to figure out what we're going to do either tonight or at a workshop and then have an election at the next meeting.
I see.
So
Okay.
as I
Thank
said, we're
you.
not gonna get everything perfect here, and this is one. We probably should have done this a little better. We should have the election tonight.
Mhm.
Would be the smart way to do that, and then the new president just starts out at the next meeting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This
We can fix all
this
this.
is your personal way you'd like to see council run.
Yes, I think that you have greater depth. If everybody sits in this chair, you have to pay a little bit closer attention. You have to come to these meetings a little more prepared. You can't sit back and just relax.
My
Go ahead.
biggest concern is going to be what if the next president doesn't want to run it the way it's run? You know, then we're...
You can get rid of the president. The president serves at your will, according to the borough code. So after 1 month, you can say, this person's a complete idiot. And for one, whoever does it, you got to give them a chance to acclimate. This is rough, just to sit here, to come in and all of a sudden you're leading this. Give them a few meetings. But if after a while you say, they're getting us on the wrong track, we have the right to remove that person. The president serves at our pleasure. So it's not like once you elect him, he's stuck it with him for a year. You get rid of him.
So
I don't think that'll happen to you.
So now, are you saying that you are done with borough council altogether?
No, I'm done as president.
Okay,
I have
because
a
that...
3-year term, and I'm going to be here, and I think that this council is going to be better for it if I step down and somebody fills this position. You will all be better board members for having sat in this seat.
Okay, I just don't want to see us take a step back, and I know you put a lot of time into this, and again, I think you've done a wonderful job.
That's very kind of you. I thought this
I agree.
out. That's very kind of all of you. But if this is to work, I actually have to step down, and other people have it here so they understand the same stuff, the spreadsheet that we use, all the stuff, the tools that we use.
And it's going to be a transition that's going to be tough. I mean, there's going to be a lot to learn, I believe. I mean, you were fortunate enough to have the experience from your past work to have a general idea of what we needed to do, where we needed to go.
Yes.
I don't know who else on this board, and that's not taking away anything from anyone that's going to have that.
This just happens to be my skill set, but if you put me behind that backhoe, I can't do a damn thing because
I
that's not the
understand
skills
that.
I
understand that.
But you
we
all
don't.
have picked up a lot of those skills from watching. The main tool is this finance report that we do. Keeping track of the money is the main thing. If you can come to, I'm getting ahead of myself here. There's going to be a meeting on Wednesday with the auditors. I'm going to revisit this issue. If you can possibly attend, it'll be educational. For one, if you ever wanted to run your own business, you're going to learn a lot of stuff by attending this meeting. You all have learned. You're all smart. A lot of you, you're good leaders. You're good. You're just a good. You just are. You know, you're a Marine. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of you that have great skills.
I've always considered myself a leader, and that comes back from playing sports or whatever, but after 2 plus 2,
here's something else.
Things get a little more difficult.
No,
I mean, give me that calculator or that phone, whatever, but...
Kevin, I
Good
make
point,
mistakes,
Kevin.
and what you want to do is you want to say, Paul did these things right, but Paul did these things wrong. Take the stuff that I did right and keep that, and get rid of the stuff that I did wrong. You can make that same assessment of every one of you. You'll do things good and you'll do things bad, and if we all say, he did this really well, keep the good, get rid of the bad.
Let me ask everybody. Does anyone here really want to step up and say, "Hey, I have the time, the knowledge, and the skill set to take over to be president of this borough council"? I mean,
You and I talked.
And I'm sure Barbie could do it.
I am too. I think you're
but I know that you work your rear end off too.
I'm training a new nurse this week so that I won't be working on that anymore.
Sometimes they say if you want something done, get a busy man, because they manage their time real well. She has to manage
time
the
management is very important. You know.
If you want something done, get a busy man.
Yes.
Here sits the one.
I appreciate
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
we have a big. We do have a big.
Okay, I didn't want to. But down to one is what I'm worried about.
Let's talk about it more at the workshop. We have time on our side. At the end, we'll
sorry, guys. Sorry,
you don't have to be sorry. I think that's.
I understand that.
So let's do that. That takes us to the minutes.
Yeah. There were 2 corrections made to the minutes. The first one is just the way Reverend Spade is referred to. We corrected that. And then the second one is on the second page. And it was we just kind of rephrased the way a motion is made so that if somebody comes in here off the street, they can look right at the minutes and immediately find the motion that they're looking for, and they aren't going to have to read through every part of the minutes.
That's a good thing.
Play at that, see motion, it says what the motion is, what it entitles, who made it, who voted.
That's a good thing. I'm sure the auditors, when we get to that, will address some of these things too. Okay.
So those were your 2 corrections.
Thank you, Secretary.
Yep.
Or you changed something, I see, it's just different than the minutes you sent me.
Yeah.
Put a whole motion in there.
Yeah, the way it's phrased is different. It just makes it a little easier for somebody who wasn't actually here to find a motion in particular.
You're a compliment to you. You're much better at writing these minutes than you were. I think so. I think your minutes this year are much better than they were. They were too long last year. They're 8 pages. We'll hear more about that. But I think good job.
I just been to the roll call.
For what?
Roll call for who's due.
You can do that if you want, but you don't. She writes it all down. No law says you have to have a physical roll call. As long as we have a way of recording that. If you guys like that, you can do it, but...
The Vice President made a motion that we have a roster. There is a roster. They have signed, and there's also a place to check mark if you want to check mark on the roster. And that'll help the Secretary.
I have something I can tell you. She has a perfect record. She's really good at looking and getting it right. You haven't got it wrong yet, have you? You're pretty good at that. So she's got her own system. I have no complaints about it. You know, make the fuss over this.
You're mad at me because I said I wasn't signed.
All right, we still need a motion to approve these minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that takes us down to the finance report. Second here.
Has there been any changes, Mr. President, on what we have gone over in work session?
On the finance report?
On the finance report, on all 3 pages?
2 pages?
2 pages, Jerry.
You should have a revenue side, which I didn't know until I printed it when I squeezed November over there. It reports as revenue, but your revenue page looks like this.
I actually did make a change, and I guess I should speak to that. Which side do you want to look at here first? Let's look at the expenditure side first, since that's what's on my... The November finance report itself is pretty straightforward. And the only thing I want to draw attention to real quickly is the price of electricity, whether it's street lights or this building, just keeps inching forward. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here. If you notice, we are over budget on both of those things. When you look year to date and if you project out to December, we're gonna be $1,000
over
off on both of those, on both electric and street lights. So we're gonna change, when we have to do our budget, which is coming up. But for the moment, let's just get this finance report out of the way. If you will look at the November expenditures, it's $7,513, right? That's what you
Yes.
spent. If you want to take a moment, you see where that money went. I would need a motion to approve. I still want to talk about this, but
So move.
Any second? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so you got that. We're approved for $7,513. All right, there's a couple things I want to look at, and two of them I just mentioned. The electric bill for this building just keeps creeping up. At the end of the year, we're going to be at $4,000. We budgeted $3,000, so we're going to be over budget on that item. Street lights, the same way, we're already $1,000 over budget on both of those. I don't know what to say about it. I've been watching this, and it just keeps going up and up and up. There's no resolution there right now. And the other thing I wanted to look at, let's see if this here is good. One.
Did we buy a lot of coal or something?
No.
Oh, it's almost $2,000 more than it was last month.
All right.
5,561.27 last month.
Okay,
Or the
you're looking at which one you're looking at?
Expenditures,
Looking at
right?
That's the expense.
No, the total, we're like $2,000 more than what we were last year.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so you have
Wow.
to look and see
The street
where
lights are
that is.
$400 more.
Electricity went up.
Yeah,
And
that
not
doesn't
only that, but they
look
come
right.
on earlier.
Well,
you
you're-
have shorter days right now, and that might drop your light bill up. The lights come on earlier.
Well, those lights, though, they're under $100 a month.
They
The
don't-
Oh, all right,
LED,
it doesn't matter
yeah,
how
it
long,
doesn't
I
matter.
didn't know
Right.
that.
Not the ones on Main Street,
Regular
the new ones are on Main Street.
It went from $378 to $395, which that isn't really,
That's not bad.
That's not a huge
No, if
jump.
you look at the total, the year to date, you see where we're gonna
Oh,
be.
yeah, I know
Right,
exactly what
where
you're talking about, but I
And
don't know
so why
where.
is this, these numbers, this is right at the bottom, this 7,000, I mean, when I look at this just real carefully, I don't see,
It auto-calculated it, so it should be right.
should be right.
Yeah, it should be.
And I'm comparing it to over here, and I see heating, that's up 745, compared to nothing.
That was too low, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those two
8 times
are-
coal.
39587. I'm just trying to figure what accounts for I don't see $1,000 worth of differences here.
Man, we're up over telephone too.
Street lights went from 9 to
To
13.
13, yeah. So there's 400, but that's still a long way from, there's $2,000 difference here.
Street maintenance and repairs, another round figure, 400.
And that was from what, from 166 up to 400?
No, 0, up to 372.
What's that?
I see it, all right, okay, so
street
there you go.
maintenance
So I
repair.
think, is that giving us about our 2,000 when you start adding all these together?
What was
What
that?
do we have for 372?
There's literally almost $2,000.
Equipment repair is
Yeah,
another 100.
Yeah, we're
Well,
up.
I see what it is, but what did we get that was, what's all listed under, street maintenance and would that?
And we're up over on telephone too.
Would that be the,
We budgeted that.
Is the coal patch included in on that? Okay, that's what that would be right there, let alone, because we got a load of coal patch.
It's on $740 on
Well,
Houston.
when you do the math there, Jack, if you come up with $2,000,
Yeah, but real close to it,
you
yeah.
have, when you added all these up, so that the number's right, you're satisfied with 7,000, which we've already approved. I mean, we can undo it if we need to, but
And it's up to, Social Security and Medicare is another $40.
all right.
I just added it up again with the calculator and I got the same.
Same thing, okay, then those numbers are right.
And
So-
little fees, $145, which was not the month before. So we're there.
All right, we got it then.
Dues
So
and
we approved it.
Fees, you went from 158 to 245.
Right now, we're doing something, we're gonna be called on this on Wednesday, I'm quite sure. We approved the budget, those numbers, we're okay, we
Yeah.
voted. So I just wanna address something here, and this is my doing, and they're gonna call me on this. We have liquid fuels on here, and I just had her add paving, because it's not right to have liquid fuels on the one side and not show the paving on the other, so she put that on there. That's part of your capital budget, not your operating budget, so technically those, we should be getting a separate finance report for liquid fuels, any capital project we have. I put it on here to make it easy, and so instead of us having to look at two things, we can just look at one. Now, I'll make the argument, but we will do whatever the accountant tells us to do. I know that I've done something wrong there, I know going into it, but I'm gonna make the case to her just like I did, and if she says, no, I want you to separate those two, we will separate them. So I was thinking of all of you when I'm doing that, making that as easy on us as we can.
And what was the two? I missed it
Well,
out.
it's what it is, it's all liquid fuels. That is you would look at that as your capital budget. That money can only be spent for roads and stuff like that. And it'd be the same as if when you did streetscape, you had to have a separate budget. It's not part of your operating budget. Since it's only $26,000, I'm trying to make it as easy on this board to follow the finances as I can. But we have to oversee liquid fuels, and we have not been doing that properly. And we're going to have to, one way or another. Now, she's going to call us on it. We're going to be called on a lot of things. So I just want you to know that I understand what's happening here. There's going to be an issue, and I'll present it just like I did now, and that she may tell us that she wants us to look at two finance reports, one for liquid fuels and one for our operating budget. If you notice, I don't call this an operating budget. I just call it revenue and expenditures. And she'll see that. So we've made some changes, but everything I told you, it hasn't been right, and that was my fault, and I did that intentionally.
Mr. President, clarification for the public, since this is video. When is the auditors coming and what time?
Wednesday at 10:30 in the morning, unless there is a school delay, in which case she would be here later.
We did not all, I wouldn't have gotten that email at all, hadn't it been for Kevin. He responded.
Everybody get it?
I didn't get it.
Okay.
And that's not your fault.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that email is not always reliable.
Yeah.
So it's a good.
I got an email, I got it from Kevin.
Yes, so we gotta keep doing that. Kevin, you sent an email to the borough saying thanks for the update.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten, and neither would Calvin, if you wouldn't have done that. So we have to make a point to do those things, because email's unreliable. We just don't get them all. But anyway, if you can, when we get ahead of myself here again, if you can do an audit review, it would be a good thing.
That was good, honey.
Here's one more thing I want to say about the finance report. All these checking accounts, will you get rid of the truck fund?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so we're going to be down just, and I'm quite sure they're going to address this. We have too many accounts. We made a preemptive strike and got rid of it.
Too many
I'll be
accounts,
willing
not
to
enough
bet
money.
it.
And then the savings, once we have the resolution.
Okay, yes, and,
What's wrong with that? Isn't that what you're
Mr.
supposed to do?
Uh,
President,
yes.
point of order, I yield my voice now to the Councilor Roop on the issue of the truck fund.
What did we find out about closing that truck fund? I've never done a report on that.
We actually did tell you about it. Do you want to tell me or do you
Well,
want me?
basically the way it works was because now Joe's a signer and he wasn't really opened it. I'd have to drive down, get a paper, bring it up, me, you, Paul would have to sign it, and Joe would have to sign it. I'd have to take that paper down. Then I'd have to come back, me and Joe would have to drive down and do it again. So what we decided that they said was easier at the bank was it would probably just be easier to write a check from that account to ourselves and just blank out the account.
That's not my question. My question is, what did the government organization
They
do?
said we could close it now that it's, what it was,
The grant
when they
has
were
been
giving us the money.
satisfied.
Yes.
So,
We couldn't put the grant money into our general fund, so that was the purpose of opening a new account to put the grant money into.
Okay.
Once that grant money went to where it needed to go, they said that if we're making payments out of our general fund, we no longer need to keep the truck line open, because it was basically just to put the money into until it went to the.
And you got that in writing from
Yes.
Eli.
From Eli, yes, I emailed him about
And
it.
this was a long time ago we dealt with this. It just hasn't been taken off yet, but we dealt with that as a board quite some time ago. There's too many accounts here, too complicated, too easy to steal. I'd be willing to bet, I'll bet anybody still address that.
Well, there's one more thing that,
Go ahead.
that Councillor Root brought up to him, and that he forgot to ask you about. With the bank loan that's a part of that, there was a condition that it had to be an automatic payout. Are we excused from that also?
No, it's still an automatic.
Hardly
payback.
withdrawal.
It's just coming from our general fund now instead of CNB.
Okay.
You just change account numbers.
Yeah.
So we don't have a
account.
account at CNB Bank or?
Well,
We won't, it still exists
It's
at the
still there
moment,
now,
but
but-
she's gonna get rid of it.
it would make more sense to just move it to general, since that's where the payments are coming out of now.
Okay, so then they waived that provision that we had to
Well, there
have.
was no provision that you had to, you only had to have it for the grant. Once you start paying for it,
Once-
you pay for it from any account that you want. So
I
why
guess
have
I'm a
to
little
know?
confused because
So was I.
that there was
So
a
was I.
grant and there was also a loan.
That's different
A
sums
loan.
of money. A grant, once the grant was paid for the truck, you no longer, you can't commingle the grant with your operating
Right.
revenue. You can't
Correct.
do that, so you set up a special account, they put it in that special account,
Okay.
you pay the bill, then you no longer, now it's gone. So now you no longer need that checking account. Because what we were doing, you're taking money from checking account A,
Mhm.
putting it in checking account B, and then paying the bill.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Now, I
Thank
mean-
you for the clarification.
Yes, yeah, we went through this. stuff.
It'll still be automatic though, so
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be rate check pricing for it.
All right, very
All
good.
right, that takes us down to adopt the budget. Now, based on what we just said here, that we're $1,000 under budget on our electric bills and street lighting, we should adjust that budget accordingly. So let me, I don't
I
have
did.
that, and you did.
The one
you
that's
said.
printed in front of you is adjusted up $1,000
Okay, and so now look at my computer here.
for electric and lighting. And then
Okay.
paving is also on there.
I also have an objection, there was nothing on the budget, for negotiations with the fire company.
Yes, and we will get to that. And that's coming up on our agenda. Just let me do these first two, and then we'll get to that. I'm just trying to find it. I'm not so good with that with papers, and I do better with my computer. Sheet one, this is your budgeted, this is what I have. Oh, okay, so what we have
But
here,
another person might be better.
notice,
And a different organization, each person has their strong point.
right,
Good and
everyone has their own strong, and every one of us has strong and weak points, all of us. So let's start here with our revenue side of the budget. You guys have that? We have dollars coming in. She budgeted $40,000 for real estate versus $50,000 this year, so that went down, and that's based on reality. We budgeted for 50 year to date. We already have 35 that's come in or something.
37 as of right now.
37. Okay.
37.5.
Let me make an objection to that. I would say we're going up with 50,000 because of the late payments. The late payments come from the county, which we don't get till January.
Right.
And you don't get late payment anyway, because they keep late fees and everything, and you're still gonna get the same
But
amount
we
of
do
taxes.
get our taxes.
You do get your
Right,
taxes,
Right.
Right.
yes.
And
So what I'm saying is, for the people who pay late,
yeah.
we will get the taxes, and I think that'll raise
Right.
the
You
taxes.
think it'll raise it by $13,000, do you, in January?
What's the normal amount we get from them?
We have it budgeted at 50. So
No.
Here we go, see what we were last year in January, for the last couple of years.
Was it ever 13,000?
I honestly couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay, we kind of went through it, and I asked this before.
Yeah, we will get, and he's right, we do get
Right,
late
but
from the
from
county.
when I asked before, it was never that high. You thought it would be a few thousand at most. When I asked.
Well,
About that.
to some people you figure are at this point
We
way
need to go
behind, so their
back
houses are
and
going to fail. When you count that in and stuff, I mean, some people don't even pay it late.
Talking, you're
But you do
gonna
have to consideration that
Well,
people will.
okay, here's what we're doing. Are you comfortable with your 40,000? I don't see it. or do you think we're gonna get 50,000 here like we're budgeted?
We could probably meet in the middle and do 45, if that would make everybody a little more
No,
comfortable. I think
it's not
40
making
is
us
accurate.
comfortable here.
No,
We
let's
want
just
accurate
let's
numbers.
try to
I
be
don't-
as close as we can.
Yes.
My whole thing is,
here.
I hate to tell somebody that I have $50,000, and
Yeah.
I come down here and say that I have 130, and I only have $105,000 in expenditures, knowing that I'm not gonna meet that come the end of the year, and now I'm scrambling. to figure out
That's where we got in trouble before.
That's where
So
we're in
that's
trouble
why we
now.
moved to
I would suggest keeping it at 40, and if we go over on the revenue side, is anybody really gonna complain if we're over 40?
No, we're not, that's okay. I from you that I could, we went through this, and you gave me 40,000, and I'd like to stick with that
Well,
number.
And the reason for
I
that
agree.
being, the late ones will come in January.
But you,
So, that
Right,
would
because-
already be in this one. So this is already be considered, your late payments for 2017 are in this, and you're still only gonna
still
get.
under, right, there you go, there's your answer, Jack. The last
Last
year we
year's
got them, and
because they'll come
counting
in
that,
January.
we're at
We're still only at
37,000. So we gotta keep that,
And you can't count that money twice.
No,
I mean, you know,
no.
to bring this up, what we're saying is,
Yeah.
let's count that money we get in
That's what I'm
January,
saying.
but we already have that accounted in
in
there.
there for this year.
For this year,
And
we're
we're
still under,
we're still at 37.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
this-
trying to
no
do
way.
it.
Yeah.
These numbers have to be right, as close as we
We're-
can. Are you all
we're-
comfortable with the 40,000 that we agreed upon? We spent some time on that. If you are, that means we're going to bring in $126,000. That's our revenue, and that's counting liquid fuels. That's every cent. That's what I told you.
So really, we're 100,000 then, I mean, because our
Yes,
liquid
yes, because
fuels are
that's
26,000.
restricted funds, yes. But we did that in such a way that you can use the 126 because cheating on the other side, which was omitted. Now, budgeting, if we assumed we were going to spend 30,000 again for paving, that means we're over budget. We're talking almost 141,000. So we got
Mr.
problems.
President, if we adopt this tonight, which we're supposed to,
We will have time.
will we be able to amend it in January?
No,
No, yes.
no.
The answer is yes. They changed that rule every year in January. You can amend it. Now I looked that up. Remember, you sent me all this from PSAB. I read all the questions, and I can look it up
Thank you,
for
Mr.
you.
President.
That I'm sure you can amend that. And well, we don't have to do it
Whether I
now.
veto.
We'll look. I know you can do
I
that.
could, whether I veto this or not, you can still amend it in January.
Yes, it used to be you could only do it on, say, the even or odd. I can't
Even
remember.
years.
Even years.
Even
They
years.
have now changed that, and they specifically say every year. I read that. I'm not going to go through here and try and find it
Okay.
to prove a point, but I read that.
Thank you,
So I'm
Mr.
quite
President, for the
comfortable with that.
clarification.
You're welcome. All right, so anyway, you can see we have 126,000 coming in, and if we were to pave again, that would put us at 141,000. And I know where all these guys are going now, so I'm going to address that point. We're going to say what's missing here is a contribution to the fire company. We have nothing under fire company. We have fire insurance pass-through in the workers' comp
Call it a
of
contract.
12,000, and we have no donation.
The word contract. What?
The mayor has a question.
Yes.
Instead of contribution, do you mean
No,
contract or
that
what?
contract was never, that's a donation. It's always been a donation. It's been sold to us as a bill of goods. Now, you can look in, again, go to the borough code, and what you're going to find, we have the right to donate to the fire company. We're not allowed to donate to Red Bomb's gas station. We can't do that. But we are allowed, and that's not the same as saying you must. That means we can, and this number, the 7,500, was an arbitrary number, should never have been happening. Now, I've taken this up with the auditor who works for the Auditor General. Yes, he comes from, he audited our liquid fuels account. Calvin was here for part of that, and I don't know what you heard and what you didn't. I stayed with that guy for about 3 hours until Angel threw us out. Most of the conversation was around the fire company, not liquid fuels. And he had audited the fire company before. And he was familiar with this contract. And for one, he said, this is stupid. He said, don't do this for every 3 years. Just like we're going over our budget right now, we should go over everything. Every year. You don't, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You don't, 10 years. You don't do that. Every 3 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 years. You don't do just keep one thing going. That went forever, from 7,000, a borrowing went from 7,000, went up to 2,500, because Borough Council never reviewed it. And that was because they thought, and that came from you, Jack, that this was a required fee. It's not a required fee. It is a voluntary donation that we could never afford. We should never have been making a donation that high based on a $100,000 budget, roughly, all these years. Now, over the years, when you add that up, we've given $300,000 to the fire company over those years. That's a lot of money. We had to borrow 1 year to pay, according to Jack and Joe. They told me that story.
No, we borrowed to take care of bill for the sub-project because they did not send us the money we applied for.
Whatever, when you have to borrow to do something, you shouldn't be making a donation, is the point. And that's always said. So the guy, basically, he was saying he should never have been given $7,000 to begin with. And now he's saying, based on our budget situation, and we came to the same conclusion, we can't give anything. And this, to the firemen, I say this over and over, and this falls on deaf ears, this is not a personal decision. This is a business decision.
Right.
But there's hard feelings developing between the fire company as a result of this. It's been adversarial. I'm sorry that it is, but this decision has to be made, and that's it.
Mr. President,
No.
2 questions. Is this true that we officially sent a letter?
No, that is not true. We'll get to that. Wait, that's on our agenda.
No.
Yeah.
You're anticipating mine without letting me
Okay.
finish. A letter telling them that we will no longer be honoring that contract.
Yes.
We did that.
We did that, okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't preempt, the second question is, the fire company can come at any time and request.
Yes, they
Yes,
can
the
always
donation.
ask. And really, we have to get this on over time. I'm hoping that maybe, again, once you get a different chairman, they're pretty pissed at me, personally. So when you get somebody else, you need to have a dialogue with the fire company. We need to work with them. This should not be adversarial. But when I talk to firemen, I say this is our situation, and they just say, well, you have to give. No, we don't have to give. You can't, and that never gets anywhere. You can't give what you don't have.
And there's nothing saying that we come to the end of the year, we budgeted a certain amount of money, we budgeted for bills, there's money left over, we give them money.
Yeah, that's not likely to happen.
Very good.
If you say that, I mean,
Let's back up.
It sounds good when I
Let's back up
say
to
it.
this year. We are learning from our solicitors stated with a legal contract, and we are bound till January 1. We have fulfilled the contract by sending a letter for 60 days to the fire company to ask them for renegotiation.
Here's the problem, Jack.
Now,
It's a donation.
whoa. It's not a donation. That was a contract. And our solicitor said that it was a legal contract. He sent us a letter to this effect. Now, let me go on a minute.
Okay.
I had no idea, because I did not attend the firemen's meeting Wednesday night. I had no idea what the fire company was going to do. But if they decide to pursue this, we have one strike at the end of the beginning, because our solicitor has said this.
No, he hasn't.
Oh, okay, now let me
What we talked
finish.
about.
Let me
Go ahead.
finish. Now, we'll have to get our solicitor involved, because it states right here that all legal matters must be handled by the solicitor.
Agreed.
Okay? Let's say this goes to court. I have no idea, and nobody else in this room has an idea how that judge is going to rule.
That's right.
But, let's say he rules in the fire company's favor. And then he turns around and says, Coalport Borough is responsible for court costs and their attorney fees. And he can do this, not saying he will, I have no idea he'll do this, but he can do this. Now we're talking $15,000, not $7,500.
You still don't have it to give to them, Jack.
Whoa, it was in the budget for last year, it was in last year's budget.
Just because it's in the budget doesn't mean we pay it.
There you go.
A budget is a guideline,
Let me
it's
ask
an
you, Jack,
outline.
where is your loyalty line? Is your loyalty line with the fire company, or is it with the taxpayers of Coalport
It's
Borough?
with the taxpayers of
Okay.
Coalport Borough, and I'm
Okay.
trying to save the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
We can sit down and negotiate next year and every year after that, but we are bound by that contract for this
We
year.
are struggling so bad right now, and I look at this, fireman's working compensation, we're giving them almost
Whoa,
$13,000 to pay that.
Stop, right there. This pass-through, and I
I'm
was
not saying
wondering,
pass-through, Jack, I'm talking to workman's comp.
we just go back to the thing and see what we just recovered. How much we just recovered?
The
back to
pass-through?
No, Kevin, we charge White Township and Terry.
Okay, yeah, I saw that,
And we did get from White, we haven't
got
received
through
anything
for
from
Terry
Terry
yet.
But, I mean, even as the budget, Jack, you know, and
And-
I really don't wanna argue about this anymore, but there is,
I like progress.
you also, last year in 2017, said you were gonna make $50,000 in taxes, and so far we've made 37,000, if we're lucky to hit 40. So who's gonna make up the $10,000 difference that you budgeted saying that we were gonna have $10,000? That $10,000 to me is a donation that we no longer have. Because I don't have the money to donate it, because we lost
Well,
$10,000 in revenue.
Mr. President, a point of order, we're trying to establish the budget right now,
Yeah.
and can we pick up on that when I bring the motion to reconsider back onto your subject?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm willing for that.
Point is-
Thank you.
Well, that still takes us back to our budget.
Motion to adopt it.
Oh. You're adopting a budget that is going to be grossly in the red.
Well, what can we do?
Well,
That's why I said, that's why I asked the question, can we amend it in January?
Well, let's
And
amend it
you
now.
said that we could.
We can't.
All right.
Why would you want to?
At the bottom of our budget, it says miscellaneous, $30,000, what's that for?
No,
Yeah.
paving.
Paving's 30,000.
Paving.
Miscellaneous is
Oh, okay.
500, honey.
Alright,
So now, we can reduce that paving cost right there.
okay,
If you take
my
that out-
suggestion is we do as we did before. We let the money accumulate for 3 years and pay, because then we should have money to pay.
Yeah, when did you ever pay? You keep saying what you did before. What did you
Well,
pay?
what was
for?
this did, I said, what was this did?
Okay.
We let the money accumulate for 3 years.
All right, so there's the one thing that it looks like we're probably going to have to cut paving to get that down to 126,000.
And that's one of the most important things that needs to be done.
Well, now, I do suggest though that I think that, with the streets we have and being on them consistently like I am, that we could save money over a 7-10 year period of time by tarring and chipping some of the back roads that aren't traveled quite as well, like Union Street and even this road up here above the Borough Building that are probably the worst two in shape. To tar and gravel them would be a third of that cost and last another 7 to 10 years.
All right, what if we do here, where it says paving, what if we reduce that to $15,000? That'd bring us approximately into balance.
I missed what he said.
Closer.
Let's
You're
reduce
talking on
let's
sheet
bring
one?
it- Just bring it into balance, I
Paving
guess,
will be on
subtract,
second
with your
page.
top up, whatever we have to do to get to 100.
That was put in.
Sheet one.
That's what it, 1.57,
Sheet.
yeah.
You wanna do that? Did you guys catch that? If we're gonna reduce our paving from 30,000 down to 15,000. And here's
And I
here's
agree with
another-
you, what you said on the phone, check.
Well, let me bring up some other stuff here that is
Then I
about
want a
to
brand
happen,
new
it's gonna
road.
impact us in a
You have,
negative
in the
way.
winter,
Now,
especially, you have better
mentioned this.
traction.
Hold on, we are being penalized by liquid fuels.
Yes.
We made a mistake on liquid fuels. Now, what the
The
penalty?
first year I was here, I came in November and I think in December, so it was 3 years ago, but they are gonna make us pay that back.
How much?
$3,000.
So we're gonna, in our general revenue account, it's gonna be another $3,000 shortage because that was Now, if you try taking it and giving it yourself, it goes into liquid fuels, but we owe liquid fuels $3,000. And liquid fuels you just can't spend anywhere you want, you're limited there.
Instead of paying it out of general funds back then, we're gonna pay it out of general funds now.
Yes,
Right.
and we're gonna pay it back, we gotta pay it back.
And
pay
it
it
has to
back.
definitely
We have to pay it
transfer
back.
accounts.
Yes,
He did say
which
that.
leaves us even in a tighter situation.
What was the mistake?
I bought coal with liquid fuels, like,
She
first
didn't,
month.
that was her second or third month here, and she thought
I
it
thought it was
fell
winter
under winter maintenance, which,
Okay.
it is with the building, but not
No.
with the street.
Reverend, now, can we adopt that budget, but it's still, there's nothing in there for the fire company, but that gets us, you know, it comes down to this, do you wanna give the fire company money, Jack, or do you wanna pay the street? You can do one or the other, but you can't do both. Now, I know where you're gonna come down, you wanna give to the fire company, I think the rest of us would rather pay the street.
No, I want to sit down and negotiate with the fire company.
There's no negotiation, this is our choice. They can ask us for anything they want. We will decide, we'll give them what we can afford, not what they want. And that's how this worked for all these years, they got what they wanted. We're in charge of this, is our money, we will decide where it goes. In my opinion, there's no money to give them. And that is not, again, no reflection on their service to this community. Simply a business decision. It is what it is. And it's only gonna get worse. Every year is going to get worse.
I wish we had $100,000 to give them.
I do too,
I know, no
but we
problem.
don't, yeah.
But we
and
don't. It's not
we've
like
signed on, this is a
The money
rough
tree
job.
out back just didn't produce this year, and
So, I need a motion to adopt this as it is.
I have a motion on the floor, but nobody
Nobody got-
seconded.
I need a second to adopt it.
The new one, with the
Yes,
change,
with the
15,000
15,000, yes.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Do we have to do a roll call vote for?
No, we don't have to, if people want it, we can, but it's quicker to do this. Jack was opposed,
Well,
we all
did she
saw
know,
that.
did she know who voted?
She's really good at this,
All right, good.
right?
Yep, I got it.
I stand
We
corrected.
we won't do anything with $15,000.
I know,
Nothing.
right, that's right, we'll save that and we'll add to it, but we're not gonna give it away, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, even with the 3,000 from county aid, that only gives
Right,
you 18,000.
right, you gotta get up around 30, we all get that, right?
I've never talked to Randy or what it cost them to tar and chip up like a mile or two.
It's
more
much
than what you
less.
think it is.
Well, it's,
I had
some
some
roads
prices.
are like,
yeah, you
some
went
roads-
around and got all
I
kinds
had
of, you ought to
some
work
prices.
on that.
I had some prices for oil and chipping roads. Well, I had different streets, the amount of feet they were and everything.
You still have that information, let's review that at another time. We've got enough crap here to do. We've adopted the budget then, we are set, you will, do you have to do anything else with it? You have to advertise, you can take care of all of that crap. That takes us down to the letter to the fire department, you guys all saw that, and that is basically notifying them, and they've seen this letter already. We send it officially. They saw the letter that we're talking about here. Is there any reason to read that letter, or can we just vote on sending them a letter?
Did we redo the letter?
Yes, didn't get a copy of it?
Item 6 was eliminated, correct?
Correct.
Do we have a copy?
We have it, I'll read it real quick and then
Here.
get this over with.
Here.
I can read it real quick. I don't mind.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I haven't seen the new one.
You haven't seen it?
No.
No,
I don't think I've got it either.
Me either.
Okay,
All
so
right.
let's see.
It's a 6-line item. It's line 1. The borough has no more money to give. It will, however, continue to contribute $3,000 to the fireman's workers' compensation and pass through $2,000 in fire relief funds, and the fire company will continue to pay nothing in real estate taxes. The fire department did not make a good faith effort to comply with council's request for financial information. The company failed to provide an annual audit, an annual budget, monthly finance report, and a complete form. The fire department provided 1 page of a 12-page document. Borough Council would be grossly negligent if they donated taxpayer dollars to an organization that does not even loosely follow generally accepted accounting principles. Failure to do proper bookkeeping gives the appearance of impropriety, particularly since the fire department relies heavily on cash donations. Annual donations of $7,000 and up were unconscionably based on the small size of the borough's budget, 100,000, not including liquid fuels, past and present. Since 1975, Coalport Borough has donated over 300,000 to the Glendale Volunteer Fire Department. The contract is bogus. Each party to a contract must provide something of value that includes the other to enter into the agreement. The exchange value, however, cannot be something that one party is already legally required to provide, such as fire protection. The borough paid $7,500 in exchange for something that the fire company was already legally required to do. Past donations were obtained through unethical means.
Objection.
Both parties must understand and agree to the basic substance and terms of a contract. A meeting of the minds. For example, if one party is selling a boat, but the other thinks he is buying a car, there is no meeting of the minds. The fire department was asking for a volunteer $7,500 donation, but council was told that it was a required fire protection fee. Direct, false statements, undue influence, and unconscious truth telling make a contract illegal and void. Borough Council strongly suggests that the fire department do a monthly finance report and submit to an annual audit by the certified public accountant. Also, please be reminded that a 501c3 organization, how do you move this up, Mike?
I go the wrong way.
Okay. Just fire department do a monthly finance report and submit to the annual audit by a certified public accountant. Also, please be reminded that a 501c3 organization is legally obligated to provide financial information to any citizen upon request. On behalf of the Coalport Borough Council.
Motion to strike. Motion to strike the sentence in item 3, failure to do bookkeeping. I think that whole sentence should be stricken from the letter. If I'm to be part of it, which this is going to be a letter from all of us councils.
Yes.
And I motion that those be stricken from it. Our opinion about what they do is inconclusive because of what we don't have all the evidence yet.
But we don't. That's what they. Remember, I asked Jack specifically, and he said they do not do a budget.
No, they do not do a budget. I've never seen a budget.
And they don't
Now,
do a monthly finance statement like we do, line items. Right.
right, okay, now, the 990 can be gotten off the computer. That is a record that's put on public information.
Well, we're asking them for it. I don't want to have to go to look for it. Let them provide it to us. That's why I asked.
But I'm telling you, if anybody who has to do a 990 is public information,
Right.
it's just go on the computer and do it.
Right. Well, there's 12 pages to that document. They gave us one. I want all 12. They're giving us what they want us to see, not what we're requesting.
They're only required to do 2 items. What's in this book right here,
No, that's
and
not
what's
right.
in the contract. That's all they're
No,
required.
that's all I'm required to ask for. That doesn't mean I can't ask for more.
But
I'm required to ask for
The
that
next year
minimum.
you can ask for what they want, but not for this year.
No, I'll ask for this year. Number one. Number two, Reverend Spade has a right to know request. They gave you nothing. Nothing. That doesn't cast a very good light on them. He had every right to. I could go down there, any one of us. If anyone comes here and asks us for our financials, it'll take her about as fast as that copier will go to give them everything we can. They won't give him anything. That casts them in a very bad light. I have a hard time trusting an organization. I want to practice transparency. They're practicing the opposite.
Well, first of all, as a farmer, I didn't even know that he requested that till today. And today I found out he requested that, but I didn't know he requested anything.
Well, they knew. They responded to it. Didn't they?
Have they said why they haven't given it to him, Jack?
I didn't even know.
Reverend Spade, will you
I'm
speak
just
for
saying,
yourself here?
I would, however, it's in litigation, and me making any statements at this point prejudice the fire company and myself, and I cannot do it. It's just all going to be. This is all going to be public. The only thing that I will tell you, the dynamic is, it is an appeal process in Harrisburg right now, and the nice thing about court is all parties have to each other.
You made a request. They asked
That's
for a
correct.
30-day extension.
That's
and you
correct.
granted that extension.
That's
right.
correct.
That's all I wanted.
Yes, I did.
And then you got nothing even after that,
No.
right? So now you're in Harrisburg.
I had to make another second request after
Right,
the 30
so here's
days.
the point, every organization should practice transparency. Barbara's telling me to shut up. No?
Can we move on then? Because I feel that I will second Jerry's motion to strict the phrase in line 3 and remove 6 altogether. And
Okay.
just send them a more professional, hey guys, we're just not paying your money right now.
That is,
Okay.
That's too,
We need a vote on
opinion
that.
should be taken out of the letter.
Do you know what's going on?
Yeah,
Everyone got this?
I want us to be as professional about it as possible.
And in that recommendation, could I add one on our letterhead?
Of course,
Yeah, it'll
of
be
course,
on
that's,
And your signature and the,
Yeah,
and the
that's-
secretary.
nobody's.
Isn't that like protocol anyway?
Yeah,
Maybe on-
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the apology should be made that this letter got out to firemen. I was, when I was trying to get signatures for a petition, firemen quoted this to me, and I said, that hasn't even been
Yeah,
sent
and
yet.
that was my fault. I sent everybody an email on how that got out, and the way I explained it, the board did not vote on this to begin with.
Yeah.
Basically, this is my opinion.
Yeah,
It's
and
that point.
you have every right to have an opinion.
That's right. And so it was very clear, the date on there was December 4th, so everybody knew that Borough Council did not vote, and I said, they may never vote on it. I said, they told me they would in a meeting, but that doesn't mean it'll actually go to a vote, and I gave that to John Fye, because I told you that. He's a very good friend of mine. He's bright, he's edgy, he's level-headed, and we could not agree on this. And he took the letter and
But
it's been disseminated.
I can
Thank you,
understand why there's no agreement here, okay? I feel for the fire company, that's great, but you know what? I don't negotiate whenever I donate to the
Yes,
American
there
Red
you go,
Cross,
Barbie, thank
okay?
you.
If it's a donation, why was there negotiation, okay? I understand where the fire company's coming from, and I stand behind what I said before. The fire company was unaware of what we were doing until halfway through the year, and I would like to honor that. However, the money is not there.
Yes.
I'm sorry we can't get it through our heads and realize the money isn't there. We've been beating this stinking rotten subject for how long now? The money is not there. Our hands are tied, the fire company's is not. There are things called fundraisers. There are things called fund drives. Borough Council can't do that. Fire company can. And our fire company, Reed Township, has offered to help Glendale Fire Company, and they turned us down.
I don't think Glendale.
We made $5,700 on a gun raffle, and we do that gun raffle twice a year. Right there's over $11,000.
There's one more thing I want to mention, then we should vote on this stuff here. If you were to look at the 9/9, or any of the information they gave us, what is conspicuously absent is the fire relief funds that they received from us, from Beccaria and White. Now, I know, go ahead.
Okay, the fire relief is a separate identity.
Yeah.
Let me go on. If the Glendale Fire Company would do away with the fire relief fund, all right, this money would come to the Coalport Borough.
That's right.
It would be put back in the pot and divided to other
Yes,
companies.
the way it works, it comes to us first, and
Right.
we send it to the fire
Right.
relief fund, but the fire relief fund then gives it to them. It should show up.
No, the fire relief fund does not give it to the fire
Yes,
company.
it is. That's who it's for. I asked the auditor that was here from Liquid Fuels that specific question. I told them this money did not show up on their income statement, and he said, it's income, it should have shown up. This guy is a CPA, a forensic auditor that works for the Auditor General. His name is Ron Fairman.
Mr. President, I called a question.
You want
The
Yes,
question
let's do
that's
the-
on the floor, the
Yes.
motion.
And we have a second. We need a vote on his. Do you want to rephrase it so everybody knows what we're taking out? You're taking out number 6 altogether, correct?
And,
And you're eliminating the sentence in line 3, failure to keep bookkeeping.
that's an opinion, that's why
Yeah.
failure to,
Okay, we got,
that's
all
an
in favor?
opinion. Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay. Get all that? So we're done with that. Where does that take us? That takes us, I just want to mention again, the Coalport Housing Improvement Project updates. They will find out on the 9th whether they have the money for that. Are those pamphlets still here?
Those are, and then I put
Took
some down at the library.
If you
No,
know
what it makes-
anybody, okay,
The, senior center. I meant to do that today.
okay, yeah, as
Just
long
take
as
some-
we can get that stuff
because-
out, if you know anybody, the income guidelines are on there, even if they don't qualify for that, there's other programs they may be eligible for.
Yeah, we
Keep
could do the
a
other
few
place.
around here for us, just so I have no more myself. So that is it, all right. So we'll just keep moving along here, I guess. Yeah. Then we'll come down to the petition update. All right, I took that around. We require 14 signatures. I think I got 28. I don't know, the only board members, where is it? There it is.
If any of the councillors would like to sign my petition, I'd appreciate it. And I would really like to make a motion that we just withdraw that whole thing.
I'm sure you would. Here's how I feel about you. If you're unelectable, you don't want competition. You know, if you're not afraid of competition, I think Calvin and I can stand up here and we can have different points of view. The people should have a choice between the two of us. You're taking democracy out of this borough. What's the point of even going to vote for a councillor? I can tell you the winner before the election if it's unopposed.
It's not true.
It is true. There's never been an election here that I've seen that's been contested among councillors.
In your proposal, you said there's 267, and I just got 5 new people. I registered
That's the number
them.
of voters, Jerry. That's
Yeah,
the
but
number of voters.
any one of those could run for election.
That's right, but they don't. The point is, history shows you that when these elections occur, it's uncontested. You're running against no opponent. It's like a basketball team on the court with no adversary. You know who the winner's going to be in advance. That's not fair. That's not the American way. Get us out of here.
I just don't know.
Well, you're not electable, is why you want this, and you know that.
Yeah, I'm a minority. President Evelyn said it like it should. I was at the bottom of the barrel.
Well, I'm not saying that, but you know...
And he will admit to this.
No, I'm
at the bottom of the barrel, but I got on council. And because I got on council, and nobody worked with me, I got a housing project. There's a house, a $2 million housing
project. Accomplished in the past. What have you done for us lately? No more talking about what you did 20 years ago.
I have a lot of plans, but it's going to take a council like this that's willing to listen.
Number one, the topic here is competition. Are you afraid to run against somebody? That's the whole issue. You guys want it. You've had it easy for all these years. No one opposed it.
You really think it'll change with 5?
It probably won't. To be honest with you, it should probably go to 3. And just think of that. There are 3 county commissioners, 3 township supervisors. Their budgets are much greater than ours. Their area is much bigger and their population is bigger. And it takes 7 of us? Come on, this is ridiculous.
It's not going to cost the borough anything to have 5 or 7.
Thank you.
We don't get paid.
I'd like to have a little bit of competition. That's the point. They don't like borough council. They've complained about council for years. That's why Mickey Mouse will get more votes than most of the people that are running. That's a protest vote. That's telling you something. They want this. Now, you don't expect it because I've encountered some of the people that you signed up. You fail to tell them about the competition part. When I encounter your same people...
Well, I don't see it as competition.
I know you don't, but I do. As soon as I tell them that...
Well, here's what I do see. When there's 5, it's going to be 3 when you have the 5, because 3 people could get...
Sorry, Barbie.
3 people could get elected.
Okay, well, here it is. We're going to submit this. We've already have enough votes, and it's going in. We need 14. We have 28. I'm going to ask somebody to...
Do you want any more?
Yeah.
I don't know who you got up here, but I'll be more than happy to take it around tomorrow.
I would appreciate that. Yeah, I would like to fill it.
Yeah.
What's that? It goes to court.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
But
looking
don't,
for a number.
but don't the voters still have a right
No.
in election?
What do you mean?
I thought it had to go on the ballot after the election.
No, it's not going to go on the ballot. And that's why if you don't go to the hearing and voice your opinion, it's not.
It doesn't matter. Here's where you've got to read the borough code again. It basically says for a population this small, In order to reduce council from 7 down to 5, you need 5% of the voters. You need a petition. That's 14 votes. We'll get 40. That's all you need in order to have this hearing. Then the judge will have the hearing. Reverend Spade can present his side of the case and say, we got to stay at 7 or go to 28 or whatever, and the judge will decide.
That's right.
And
it won't go on the ballot, right?
It won't go on the ballot.
No, it doesn't, it's not a
Unless he
referendum.
sees a battle here, and I can make a motion, Your Honor, in the alternative, will you do a referendum and put this on the ballot? And he can do it. He has broad discretion.
I don't know about that. He has to follow the law too, and that's not the law. You're
He
making
has
it up
broad,
as you go.
no.
Yes,
He
well,
has
but it
broad
doesn't matter.
discretion in this.
You'll take that, and if
I got
anybody
a couple
else,
people that want to do it.
if Barbie, if you can get more, if anyone can get any more signatures, feel free, then we'll turn that back to you. We can even drive, were you gonna drive that down, or I can go with you, I'm gonna say a word.
Oh,
Man, I have lots of
And you have to give him $500?
Yes.
Okay.
is that what?
$500 we could give him.
Yeah, well, again, I see the point. I know why you don't want the competition, but that takes us down to the, let's move on from that one. Let's go down to the street light update.
Can't we follow with you?
Basically, we've turned in all of the lights that we want turned off. I should now be out of that loop. Everything should come to you either by email or regular mail, and you'll let me know. We'll sign it. We're ready to have some lights
What
turned
lights
off.
do you plan on turning
The
on?
ones you were probably here for that meeting, we come up with 11 lights. I don't.
The last one, I think.
Yes, and we tried to pick lights that'll have a minimum impact on the community. And again, due to our tight budget situation, we could do something.
Joe, did you check
Joe-
that one light that somebody told me about? Is
And
it
you
going to stay on?
put sufficient time into this, right, that you're comfortable with the choices that
Yeah.
we made.
The only one that I
Well, we took
went
that one
around,
out.
yeah, because once the time changed, then I went
Yeah.
around and looked at a couple things that was some that was, I didn't think it would work out very well.
Yeah, and we took your recommendation and we took that out.
Is is that light that I asked you about, is
Yeah.
it going to stay on?
On,
Okay,
it's
all
gonna
right.
stay on, because of the way it is with the intersection.
Right.
Do you have the answers for Jack there, what we're shutting
Yeah,
off?
I have these ones, and I talked to Bill Jasper, the one down below Jasper's garage, because he has a light up there.
So Frank
Okay.
and John
Okay.
went out, so
Um,
the power was on.
16 Railroad and Spruce,
To look
that's the
one
one
night,
here at the end, because there's
and that's
one, two,
it's-
three,
it-
4,
and there's an
all in a row.
intersection there.
Walnut and Lumber Alley, 19. Schrock Road and Wood Street Extension, that's the dirt road up above my place.
You just said Lumber Alley,
Yeah.
Lumber Alley.
Walnut and Lumber Alley.
Resolution, no, I don't think,
We didn't
no,
do that.
I didn't hear that.
Okay.
Did you
Just a
go on the
minute,
buzzer
minute
yet?
here.
Railroad
No.
and Papa Hickory.
Remember
It's
we did the letter
it's-
just
if you
last
get down there,
time.
it's right across the street from, Ginner's,
And the
and it's
fire,
up
he
in
did
the
that
trees.
one.
The light
Oh,
above
is
it.
that one down
Red's,
there?
I read.
Up
Red.
above Red's house there?
Yeah.
Is that the one
Didn't
you're
make the
supposed to?
resolution.
All right.
The one that was up in the trees,
Right.
okay? The one
Okay.
above,
You didn't
Joe's
go on the
house
buzzer
on
yet,
Forest
did
and
you?
Hickory.
Oh, you did?
There's one in Beechwood Park that we're
Who
being
made the
charged
motion?
for. One right here in front of the Borough Building is being eliminated due to the fact that we have 4 lights out, street lights out front, plus
Right.
all the ones coming up here. 63167, the one in front of Windstream Building that we're paying for. There's no occupancy there. And Heverly and Blaine, which is the light
I love her.
curve out by Walt's Curve.
That's where railroad goes on to 865.
Where it hits onto Heverly, there's one,
Man.
Oh, okay, I
Right
know
by
that.
where
McGarvey's old house.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Have we resolved all that now? You're satisfied, you know where they are?
Yeah, I believe so. What's that alley that goes up,
Here's
what's
one
the
more
main
thing.
alley that goes up on the, below Main Street? What's that alley?
That's
All
Turner.
right,
All right, yeah, okay.
Here's one more thing, nothing's carved in stone yet, they're gonna send us the documentation
No, I'm not
that has to be
that
filled out. So we can talk about this if need be, one more time before we actually make the
Sign it
decision.
and send it out, right.
So we'll review it at one of our workshops, one more time.
Mentioned workshop. I was not notified there was a workshop Wednesday night, and I could have been here if I had known.
I don't know what to say about that.
Well,
We had decided here quite a few months ago, when we decided we weren't going to meet every Wednesday, that the Wednesday right before the council meeting, we would meet, so that
I
we
was
could...
never told that. And I do not get emails.
I can't help you there, if you don't get email, that drags the rest of us down. We couldn't make this work if it wasn't for email.
I know, Jack, at the last meeting, it was discussed that we would meet every Wednesday prior to the Monday meeting to make sure that nobody was gonna be blindsided by anything and to bring up any new agenda because of the new drafts that we've done pertaining to the fact that people had to have a week to do it. It was brought up at meetings.
We tried, I don't know what to say.
And then especially these people be notified, because we didn't.
I'm sorry, but it seems to me as though I'm trying to be eliminated.
But you're eliminating yourself by not having email. I'm doing...
Why should I invest money I don't have?
Then don't complain, and you find another way to solve this problem. Why should I drag everybody
You pick
down?
up the telephone and make one phone call, I have an answer machine.
I didn't know you were in town this week or over the college. I didn't know until I saw you in the parade.
I've been in town for 2.5 weeks now.
Well, I don't know how she's to know your schedule. I don't know what...
Hey, I have an answer machine, call an answer machine, and if I don't come, it's my fault.
All right, we'll try that.
We can do that.
We'll do that. That problem is solved.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. All right, now we're down. Sorry this is dragging on so long. We are now at the audit update, and I think most of you know that. It's 10:30 on Wednesday. She will come and spend some time with us. She's going to list everything that's wrong, and that's going to be considerable. If it's all possible that you can make it, please make that meeting. It'll be educational.
But watch for school delays, because she did say she has a kid, she's be on school bus, so if there's school delays.
In Clearfield?
Yes, in
Well, it doesn't really, there's nothing really shows.
No, I don't know that story, but
Any
just
type of...
2 days away, right?
4.4.
Yeah.
2 days off.
Weather doesn't say that.
I don't even have to use my toes.
Yeah. All right, that takes us to management update. And I obviously have one question here. We brought this up before. We are tax
Especially
Did we get any results from that?
I did tell Cadillac that we were talking about, but that's all papers they requested, I have not heard back yet, so.
Oh, okay.
Kind of in there for it. I did talk to them, this is interesting, I talked to Cadillac,
So I had
it was on Thursday, I was paying
going
all
through
our
your
bills.
system.
Hey, hold up, guys. She's trying to talk. Pay attention to it, please.
I was paying Cadillac online on Thursday, one of the accounts that said was not eligible to be paid online. I had to call Cadillac, and she said that sometime during the year, someone called and made the suggestion that we wanted to pay it by cash down at Leo. So I could not pay it online, and I also couldn't pay it on the phone. I did talk her into turning that off, putting us back on that I could pay it online, and I had to pay it over the phone on Thursday. I have no idea how that happened.
That makes absolutely no
No,
sense.
we have to review all of this electrical stuff. We haven't had the chance to do our best. We just have to do that.
I just thought
Like
that
us on the
was
phone.
odd.
Yeah, we've got to see what the trouble is here.
I have
Get this
no
stuff under control.
His phone today was one that owed
The phone was down
a week
yesterday.
after
And like I
they
said,
worked on
we're
it.
still, and I know she's been busy because I talked to her earlier today, we're still paying $200 a month, and
Yeah.
there's nobody in this room that's paying that for just phone and internet.
I did make a little bit of an inquiry there. This was an ex-Windstream employee, and he thought that the business rate is about twice as high as the residential rate. I don't know any of that.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but you
Yeah, I
find
did
out.
get a number to
This is
call
what
for.
we were told before that we're on business rate.
Yeah.
That's like our electric.
Yeah, right. You guys have anything, Joe?
Yes, I do
Go
have,
right.
I do have something. We normally do this every year, and I don't see that this year should be any different from any of the other ones, so, this will depend on the rest of council whether they want to or not. But we have 3 employees, and I'd like to see the 3 employees get a $50 gift.
Motion? Is there a motion?
I'll make that into a motion
Second-
for a
second?
gift certificate from Leo's.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much about it.
Anything else?
Resolution.
How did I miss that?
Skipped it. It's
Boy.
And I had a
Thank you.
motion that was submitted more than a week
All right,
ago.
hold on, does it regard this resolution, or what? Your motion?
Excuse me?
Does your motion regard this resolution to make her the authorized signer of the new account?
No, but you go ahead and move
Let's
forward. I
get
just
that
don't
out
want
of
to
the way.
be
This
eliminated.
has to be, all right,
Okay.
You want a motion?
Yes.
I make a motion, we'll go by resolution for Angel to be the authorized signer of the newly discovered accounts so that we can get them taken care of.
Do you have that resolution?
Second? Yes, she has it. Second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any opposed? Everyone? Okay, you have the
I have
resolution?
them right here. We can sign them and date them when the meeting's over.
Okay, good enough. That takes, apparently you have some others.
We don't have old business, but I had a resolution that was approved, and it never showed up in the minutes.
Which one was it?
The resolution for council vacation compliance, and I had about, you gave me a number, and I even a signed copy and sealed. But it was never in the minutes that we voted on this and adopted it.
What minutes did we miss? When was that?
That was
that last month?
October 1st, minutes. It was never in there.
No.
Remember when I was appointed?
Yes.
I brought also a motion.
Okay, you know she has to do this by hand now, right, there's another procedure, whenever you're going back in time, it's not approved currently. Once they've been approved, it gets a little bit complicated.
Okay, I can table this until the...
Or can we do it as a new resolution, just do it again?
We can?
Let's do that, let's not do it now, let's give it a little bit of time, because I don't know what it is,
It was the one that Barbie read it, but it's not even in the minutes that we did that. October 1st.
Yeah, I have two dogs.
Do you want to
Not
do
one,
it?
Well, we already did it.
But it didn't make it.
It just needs to be amended in the
minutes.
Can we table that then?
Yes, the problem is you can't amend those minutes like the ones we just approved.
Correct.
You're going back in time, she has to do it by hand, write some stuff on.
Well, that would be my motion then, if I can do it on the floor, or do you want to do it
Which
next?
is easier for you? If we do the whole thing over, would that be easier?
No, I can amend it. I just.
You can do this?
Yeah.
The motion to amend
The
this,
minutes, okay, somehow we probably, I don't know the procedure for that, to be honest, what we have to do, I'd have to look that up, and it's different. I do
Mr.
know
President,
that.
because these are public documents that are retained forever and ever.
We're not taking
Yeah,
issue with
that's
any of that.
what-
What we're saying is we don't know how to do it,
Yeah.
because it's not typical
Well,
road
I'm
stuff.
making a motion to amend the October minutes.
Second, we need a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Oh, okay, you got it, we have everything we need.
Okay. I'm going to make this part of, for the councilors that don't know, I made a motion to reconsider, and the motion is to consider two motions that are antithetical. They fight each other, and that's why I said let's table it. We have a motion that's actually active, and I in the minutes it appears as if the councilor made a condition, but actually, as I go back and review the video, Mr. President made he overruled a motion, but the motion passed 4 yes and 2 no. Then we had a motion in August that enacted let's see.
It said that we wouldn't give money to the fire
That's
company
right.
unless they provided the financial information they requested. So all that is moot. They never provided the financial information.
They
we
did.
requested.
They did, Mr. President.
They did not give us what
we asked for. You don't believe they gave?
Did we get an annual audit, Reverend? We
No.
asked for an, all right, then rest my case.
Okay. So, what are you going to do with this motion that is still on the floor, that was acted upon, and it's active? In my motion to reconsider, you have some alternatives. You either rescind that by a motion, which I think it was duly done, But you're saying that because...
No, go ahead, I'm listening.
The motion is still there. It hasn't been rescinded.
What you're saying, you want to get rid of the motion where we voted to pay $3,500 to the fire company.
You would have to do that.
$37.50.
Whatever it was.
Or you have to pay it.
No,
The motion didn't have any condition. You overruled, which I think the president can overrule, and pointed out we had another motion.
Right, I did that.
Yes. But they're still, that's why I said, they're fighting each other. We have antithetical things.
I don't care if you get rid of them. That's fine by me. If you want to make a motion that we get rid of one of those, go right ahead.
You can't do it. The person that made the motion, the person that seconded the motion has to rescind it. And I am not rescinding the motion.
I don't know the rules on that, and I'd have to look that up. I don't know if any of this is right.
The one that you want stricken is the one where I said that we would pay the fire company if they submitted the document?
Yes.
That wasn't a motion.
I think Jack's motion was to pay them the money.
That's right.
And then when it was seconded, it was brought up about only if they provided.
It is
considered. It did kind of like cross-reference itself to where there was a complete motion on 3750.
Yes.
And it was also discussed, though, that the stipulation that was motioned prior to that...
See, they're not incompatible. The one before simply says you don't give them any money until they provide this stuff. So that motion still exists. Even if you agree to give them anything, but you still have to wait. I don't care. Do whatever you want. I don't know how to get rid of it. Tell me what you want to do.
What I'm saying...
I'm not withdrawing it.
We have to have some integrity here. That we make a motion to pay... It was even confusing to the secretary. She didn't know whether she was supposed to pay it or not. And I believe they tried. If they have failed, we should ask the fire company again for the same information. And then we could...
I'm not going to do that. That's a waste of time.
Well, we don't know that yet, do we? Have we asked them again?
Almost 6 months.
I don't know how to get it. I don't know what
it started in July, and since July, we have been beating this subject. And the bottom line is, and I wish you people would open up your ears and listen. You can't give money you don't have to a donation. If it was a requirement, knock yourself out. Write the check right now.
Yeah, we can always knock out.
But you know what? It's not a requirement. It's a donation. This bothers me because, I know what it is to sit and write grants for the fire company, and I know what it is to try and do fundraisers to raise money. But you know what? When I sit at this borough table, I am a borough councilwoman, not a firefighter.
Thank you. Because I am a borough council person, not a firefighter.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but we owe the fire company $7,500 because our solicitor stated that was a contract.
And that was true.
He sent that letter, but everyone was heard.
But didn't we say, isn't it stated in the contract that if we ask for things, they are to submit it?
They should ask for one item, which they submitted, and this says in the annual report, they submitted their annual report for 2017. They can't submit one for 2018 because it's not over.
We're not asking for that.
No, and I didn't ask for that. I asked for 2017.
And they submitted that.
More. I want an audit. I want to see an audit. I want to see where this money comes from. I felt that the information we received, again, it didn't include fire relief funds, and that should be income. And there were other things.
You may have talked to that auditor, but isn't it funny that no other auditors ever said this?
Well, maybe no one ever asked. Who knows? You guys never brought it up. This was pretty hush-hush and under the table and done below the
Whoa, it was never under the table. It was voted on this council.
I have you on... You tried to convince us that this had to be paid. We have you right on camera there. If you want to check a rehearsal.
I said that, and I still say it. We are obligated for 2018. Whether we like it or not, we are obligated.
We are. Again, I don't recognize
that's your opinion.
Yes. And we voted on it.
Our solicitor states we are.
Well, not exactly. He did view it as a... I spoke to him on the phone after I got the letter. He said, I didn't understand And then he changed his opinion. I didn't ask him for anything in writing. He did offer to do some pro bono work to see if it was a conflict of interest for firemen to sit on the board and vote, and I said, I don't want to play that card.
In good faith, and to put this to rest, I would like to make a motion that we send one more letter to the fire company for the documents that we requested.
That they have to give us. They already did us more than they have to do it. They did us their toll,
but in good faith to the fire company, I'm asking for a motion to resend the requested items that are enumerated.
Yeah, are we gonna get good faith in the fire company and give that to us? Because I don't know,
Well, that's what I
know.
There is so much animosity right now, it's pathetic, and it wasn't even supposed to start out that way.
That's right.
Yeah, number one, just let the year pass.
My motion's on the floor.
No second.
I'll second it.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
3. All opposed? Make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got them?
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. Is there any other business? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes, you do.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome.
Norman, did you make these or buy them?
I bought them from the Catholic Church in St.